Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Nishmat Mordechai, live from the Aguda convention. Ooh, Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, wait. So we had an unbelievable Shabbos here in the Armon Hotel in Connecticut. This is the exact same place where MDY had Shabbaton exactly a month ago. And there was a wonderful Shabbos. The Shabbos got to meet the Eli Yisrael here, the Rosh Yeshivas, heard great speeches. I heard an unbelievable Chumash here, the Eon from Reb Shlomo Cinnamon. Check him out. He's on Torah anytime. It's phenomenal stuff. If you like Lumdus and Cinnamon spelled C-Y, just in case you want to look it up. So it was a beautiful, inspiring Shabbos, and I want to thank all those involved, and especially Rabbi Yitzchok Herman for inviting me and bringing me here. I met a lot of wonderful people, and I'll talk about some of them soon. Because it's Motzei Shabbos and there's a program coming up, and we got a late start as usual, so I am going to skip the email part. I know it's very sad. I know you want to hear some emails. And we're going to jump right into it. And so before I go into the sponsors and everything, I just want to go through just a few nekudas that we learned in the past week. In the past few dapim, we had some yisoidus. One is kol hamishana uba acher v'shina potter. And people complain that Daf Yomi goes in one ear, goes out the other ear. So we try to do chazar. We try to emphasize some points that we learned. Kol hamishana uba means if, let's say, an animal does something different, strange, it lays down in the middle of a street, and then another animal comes and kicks it, which is also strange. Since the first one started, so to speak, it did something strange. So we're not so makbid on the second one. There's an interesting Tosfos that says that this doesn't really apply to human beings. This halacha was only said when it get to animals. The concept of dayoy, we all know, but it's kedai to repeat, and that is that Torah says a kavachomer about Miriam. Whatever the lashon is exactly, because Baruch Hu says if a father would spit at his daughter, put her in chayim for 7 days, so kolchkein we would make a kavachomer. Kolchkein, because Baruch Hu would be double, but no daya. We have to stop and limit it to the source, which is 7 days. So every kavachomer has a stop. You can't go above where you're coming from. Truly creates means a simple piece of wood that doesn't have a shape. Mikabel Tuma. Gemara learns the Kavachomer. Now, we had this idea in Xer Shava of Doimino Vuki Basra, which would mean that if we're learning a Pshuti Kliyates, let's say, for example, we want to learn that if a dead person touches a simple piece of wood, it's Mikabel Tuma. We learn it from a sheretz. How long is the tumah by a sheretz? It only lasts for 1 day. So if I'm learning it from a sheretz, then doimina umina, so then I have to take all the halachas from it, or perhaps no, I learn one concept from sheretz. That it's mekabel tumah. How long? That I'm not going to learn from sheretz. How long is the typical halacha that's neged to my mace, which is 7 days. Okay. Machlokes. Anyways, here we are by the sponsors. Masech the sponsors for the unity of Am Yisrael, Klal Yisrael. The Parnas HaChodesh. We have 5 of them. Rafur Shleima for the Dvora Basara, the mother of Gershon Ben Moshe. Parnas HaChodesh Hatzlocha L'zechus Yosef Mayer, Ben Rochel, and Yidden worldwide. Parnas HaChodesh leilo Nishmat, Chaneh bar Elimelech. Parnas HaChodesh leilo Nishmat, Mendel ben Pinchas, Parnas HaChodesh leilo Nishmas, Zechraya ben Moshe leilo Nishmas, Chaya bas Yosef. Parnas HaYoim, Uri Stern in honor of ZNT Shul and Ramat Eshkol building campaign. Wow, they snuck it in somehow. I'm not going to mention the rest. That you can do on your own. Parnas HaYoim leilo Nishmas, Beryl Septimus, Yosef Doiv ben Mordechai, whose first yahrzeit is today. Mark Aschkenasy and Uncle Phil wish happy 18th birthday to YOEL Bergman. The famous YOEL Bergman. from Chicago in the art of the month, which is now, it's not even fair that he gets all the schusim. Now we have two full-time artists. Yosef ben Chayesara for the schusim that come from supporting Limud HaTorah. So Rabbi Isai, I want to talk about this for a second. We're starting a brand new Mishnah Daf Lamed Aleph, which means that we're 30 days into Masechtas Baba Kama. It's tremendous. We started the Masechta here in this hotel, and here we are 30 days later. So I was speaking to the Rosh Yeshiva today. Like, what's the shir all about, and why there's so many people that watch? And I told him the point is to give geschmack in learning. And I didn't tell him about this. But the idea is to, once in a while, whether it's a good picture, sometimes the picture describes the sugya, sometimes it's for entertainment, to take a little break. So I had this idea and this dream. I want to do a lot of 3D animation in Shas. I think it'll bring out sugyas clear. And again, it's the same thing. Sometimes it's for the entertainment part. You see the sugya, and when it becomes visual, you remember it. There's a lot of things that you see. That video, yeah. And in Beis Hashem, we're going to have this with Trumas and Maisrus and Tumen Tahara. And when it comes to Kachim, to the Mizbeach, to the Beis Hamikdash, how it works and everything else. So when I saw that I can't do all the art myself, I'm not an artist, but I was dabbling with different things and pictures and drawing my own yarmulkes, if you remember, and the tchelas tzitzis, etc. So I went to my very good friend. I have a very good friend. His name is Rabbi Yehuda Freilich, and if you're part of the shir, you know that I have an argument with him throughout Shas. He doesn't argue with me. I just argue with him in public. I tell him his side, and I say my side. Every time the Gemara says something about Torah, I say, oh, you see, Rabbi Yehuda always argues with me. What's more important, Chesed or Torah? He's a big Bal Chesed, so he loves Chesed. And I like Torah. Well, I like Chesed also, but not as much as Torah. Kitzer, we have this ongoing argument.
I could prove you wrong.
Oh, let me finish my speech here. So Rabbi Yehuda is here. He's my chavrus in Chicago for over 2 years. We learned to daven in Chicago. Then he convinced me to move to Eretz Yisrael. He's one of the reasons why I moved to Eretz Yisrael. I moved to his block. Bekitzer. So it's really, this whole MDY is his fault. But I went to him. I said, listen, he has a company. It's called Outsourcing to Israel, right? So he has a company. I said, listen, maybe you know of a good artist. He says, yeah, I'd rather know. And he said, I know this guy, Yoshi, Kitzer, on the spot, boom. We hired him, Givaldik, because that's what he does. He gets people for companies and et cetera, et cetera. And so just recently, like a month or two ago, I said, listen, I want to do this 3D art. And I told him the whole thing. And he says, oh, I think I have somebody for you. And Baruch Hashem, first try, and here it is. I want to show you this. We'll read the first 2 lines of the Mishnah, and then I'll show you this thing. Now, it's not 100% the case of the Mishnah, but it's almost there. Now, you have to understand that something like this could take 2 days. That's basically what it took him 2 days to create. A 15, 20-second thing. Shnei Kadarim, says the Mishnah. The Heilige Mishnah, sponsored by Moshe Cohen, L'schus Parnasa, and Hatzlocha L'zechus. Shnei Kadarim shahayu mahalchim zacharza. You have 2 people that are carrying, let's say, glass bottles or some sort of barrel. V'nitkal or rishoin v'nafal. The first guy tripped and fell. V'nitkal hasheni b'rishoin. First guy tripped. Oh, all right. We have one of the most famous Magdashirim in the world. He does the songs of Shas. What's it? Tell me your whole name again. Yossi Gleiberman. Reb Yossi Gleiberman gives 2 shiurim a day in Flatbush. Yishkoyach for I don't like when Magdashirim sit through my shir, but you could. We're good friends. We have Dovi that sat next to me. What's your last name, Reb Dovi? Reb Dovi Gross. Kids, okay? You didn't have to come. You're a Shalmi Yid. Okay. So we had all machlokes. Is nitkal, a guy that trips. Is he negligent or he's not negligent? Is he poshea, not poshea? So says the Mishnah, the first guy trips. The second guy trips over him. Harishon chayiv b'niskei sheni. So the first one is chayiv in all the damage that's caused to the second one. Now, I'm going to ask the Olam. You can answer. Why is the first guy chayiv? Anybody? Huh? What does that mean? The what? Who's talking over there?
Not me.
Niskel's B'Sheya.
I sat in front of you this morning by job.
All right. From Arizona or something? No, that was somebody else. Yeah, Queens. Queens. He said Kessler. He gave me regarding us. Okay. What is it? What is it called? In the first Mishnah of Baba Kama, this 40 Zaken, what is this called? This bar. Everybody says bar. Who says Adam? Oh, very good. Bunch of lamdamen here. We have it's l'chayr, it's Adam Hamazik, but there's some Rishonim that say that it's bar. Okay, very good. The Olam is holding. Now let me just show you this clip. Try to make him look Jewish. Givaldik. Okay. You really would. Next time you gotta get me a frum guy that does this. So, there you go. Hold on. All right. That's that. At least the kid liked it. Seder. That was my idea. I said he has to go head first in the garbage can. You know, it's geschmack when you have this idea. And I'm picturing you have the story you have. And I told the guy, this is what I want you to do. And this is what he did. But I told him he has to be holding barrels and this and that. That part he forgot about. Okay, good. We'll get there eventually. No, Be'ezer Hashem, it's going to be more for describing a hard sugya or this. It's going to, I think it's going to be relative. Fine. So that's the Mishnah. Zog the Gemara. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, we go back over here. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Tema Masnisin Rabbi Meir, the Omar Niskal Pushayahu B'chayiv. Says Rabbi Yochanan, no, Lav Dafk is this Rabbi Meir who says that somebody who trips is chayiv. I don't know about you, but we were a bunch of mean kids in New York, and there was a thing like they would put like a string out and wait for that that kid in the class, and as he was walking by, they would pull it and he was falling down. They'd say something to the effect like, "Have a safe trip. We'll see you in the fall." Something like that. Okay, so this guy, he's responsible for his own nefila here. This niskal pusha. You don't have to say that. Why? It could go according to a Rabbanan who say no, he's not such a negligent person. The problem is that he had some time to stand up. As you see this guy, here, maybe show him. It's ganz geschmack. This guy, what is he doing down there? Let him get up. We're talking about he could have gotten up. Since he could have gotten up and he didn't, that's the problem. That's the pshia. The pshia is not that he tripped. The pshia is that he didn't get up. So I want to read this again because it brought out a big nekuda here. Afilu rabbanan damri onosu patur shahaya loy lamoid v'loy amad. You hear? Sometimes a person falls and it's not really his fault. He had a nefila, in ruchnius, whatever it is. The question is, how long does he stay down? The trick is to get up. We all have nefilas. We all fall. How long are you down? I forgot which Rav said it. Maybe it was, it's hard for me to say his name. Rabbi, Dr. Lord Jonathan Sachs, something like that. I think he's the one that said that he was once at a doctor's office taking a stress test. They put him on a treadmill. So he asked the doctor, what do you want to see? How fast I run or how long I can last? The doctor said, neither. I want to see how long it takes your heart to go back to regular. In other words, person falls, but how long are you going to stay in that situation? Are you going to come back and go back to where you were before, or you're going to sit there on the floor? Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar, afilu teima loy hoy loy lamoid. Hoy loy lahazir loy hizir. He should have warned the guy. I don't know if anybody plays golf here, but when you play golf and you take a not such a good shot, so you scream 4, right? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. F-O-R-E. You do a hazara, which that reminds me, stop, because it's Motzei Shabbos. This week, I sat down with a big Bal Kishrin from New York, and he was telling me, I have, I'm part of a country club. Yeah, well, so country club means I'm part of a golf course, and there's kosher food there, and I play golf every day. So how long do you play every day? It's 3-4 hours a day. 3-4 hours a day. It's like, wow. So I got the shmooze with him, and I'm telling him about Daf Yomi, and he's giving me these faces. I said, what? He says, Daf Yomi is bittul Torah. I said, Daf Yomi is bittul Torah, but 4 hours on the golf course is okay? I said, I'm going to say this in my shir. He said, no, you better. I'm not going to mention your name, but it's a Ma'aseh Shaya. He's arguing with me that Daf Yomi is bittul Torah. You can only learn certain ways and this and that, but on the golf course is beseder. Okay. So why you go to the golf course? Learn. No. All right. Talk to Gemara. So we have machlokes here. Yochanan says he should have. Actually, Yoshi did a little thing here. Let me see if I have it. Oh, there's another one. Hold on. I didn't even chap this. That's a different thing. Okay. I didn't see. He just put it in. This cap in Motzei Shabbos. Sorry. We'll go back to it. So there's something called Adam HaMazik, like we mentioned in the Mishnah. We'll get back to that as well. And I'm jumping around there because the Yoshi did this quick chart. It's not so important, but okay, since he did it, I'll show it to you. According to Rabbi Yochanan, he should have stood up. And if he didn't have a chance to stand up, he's potter. But Reb Nachman ben Yitzchak, his nekuda is that even if he doesn't have a chance to stand up, he should have warned the other guy. He should have screamed out. Okay. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan the Torrid. Yeah? So says Rabbi Yochanan, no, I argue with you. Kivin the guy is busy with his wounds. He doesn't have the cup to scream out to somebody 4 or whatever. Be careful. Tnan. I have to do this all myself because the guy, I just telling the Olam, the guy that is on my computer that does it, it's 3:00 in the morning in Eretz Yisrael. The other guy is in Phoenix, so it's not much Shabbos. Maybe now he'll come on and help me out to go back and forth between the things. Usually they take care of the things behind the scene. Okay. I feel that's a very cool and a big tzaddik. Fine. Not. This is not about Kair in Shul. This is about Kair mean the guy that's holding the beam. You have a guy with a beam. He's walking down the street like this. And behind him is a guy with a barrel. Yeah, like this. If the barrel hits the beam, potter. So that we have today in traffic. If you hit somebody that's driving in front of you, hit the back of his car, you're chayiv, not the guy driving. But if the guy makes a short stop, the guy holding the beam, if he makes a stop, which is not regular, then he's chayiv to pay for the damage caused to the chavas. Says Gemara, my lav, shoman lekatif. So there's 2 things we're going to see. There's something called lekatif, means to, I'll show you the picture anyways, why not, before the teretz of the Gemara. There's lekatif and lafush. Lekatif means to readjust the load. That's normal. Everybody that has a knapsack, that has a load on his shoulders, readjusts. So he pauses for a moment to readjust. He's within the guidelines. My lav, shoman lekatif. Durchu. That's normal. V'katani chayav. Why? David lahazir. So that's a question on Rabbi Yochanan. Even though he's tarud, he's busy, he's doing something with his load, he should have advised other people that he's stopping. We're talking about that he's just resting. Imagine driving down the highway and there's a car in the right lane stopped. That's not regular. That's not normal. Somebody like that is chayiv. You can't say, well, you should have kept a distance or whatever. You're an Adam HaMazik. Oh, fine. Reb Shteiman says that from this Gemara you see that you're allowed to take a break in your life to reorganize. Take a nap because you want to go learn. But stam, to take a vacation without a good reason. So it's a kedai to say when you go on vacation, I'm doing this to get better in learning and to have koiches and rejuvenate and etc. But avart. Avalam lekativ mai potter. So says Gemara, but so okay. So now you just made a distinction between lafush and lekativ. Lekativ, if he's readjusting, you're okay. If you're resting, not okay. Classic Gemara question. So then why do I go to another case in the Seifa and say that if the guy that's holding the barrel, if the guy that with the beam screams to the guy with the barrel, stop, potter. Tell me a case within the same case. The Mishnah should have made that nafkamina. Says Gemara, no. I like the other nafkamina better, even though it's a different case. I'll come ashwala. Even though you're chayiv for stam resting in the middle of a highway, you want to take a break. What do? You have to get off the exit. You don't stop in the right lane. But there's a way. If you do stop in the right lane and you put out hazard lights and you tell people, hey, I'm here, then you're okay. Toshma. Hakadorim azagogin shoyu mahalchim zachaze v'nikta al rishon v'nova. The first guy slipped and fell. So he fell. Now, we're going to go now, according to the Mando Omer that says, Nitkal Pisheya. Nitkal Rishon v'nofa. V'nitkal Hasheni b'rishon. V'hashlishi b'hasheni. So that's what this thing was. So you go back over here, stuck it in. It's a whole long thing. That's why it took 2 days, I see. Oh, here. This is a third person that trips on a second person. Okay. So it goes like this. This is very important. First guy trips on himself, on his shoelace. V'nitkal hasheni b'rishon, the second person tripped on the first person, which we're going to see he's less of a b'sheya than the first guy. The first guy, let's see, is a b'sheya. Second guy is not a b'sheya. He doesn't have to know that people trip. You have to make sure that you don't trip on a sidewalk. But that somebody fell in front of you and you fall on him, you're not a b'sheya. So what do we do? Rishon chay b'nitzki sheni. And this is going to be the sugya today. It's a very short sugya, but Rav explains what's going on here. Rishon chay b'nitzki sheni, the first guy has to pay everything. V'sheni chay b'nitzki shlishi. And the second guy has to pay, and Rav is going to explain he doesn't have to pay everything. But he has to pay. V'machmas rishon aflu. But if the first guy is the cause of the third guy also falling, how do you have a third guy, the first guy causing the third guy to fall? I was going to explain. He was laying across, and two people fell on it. Then the first guy has to pay for everybody. And if everybody warned everybody, if there's warnings going out, you don't have to pay. Says Gemara, my love. Oh, Mark's on Yishkoyach. Fine. Let me get back here. You did that for me? Okay. Shkoyach Mark, good vach. My love, shloi hoya lohem la'amoid. We're talking about a case where they couldn't. It was too hard for them. It was right after they fell. They didn't have a chance to get up. So you see that they should have warned. Right? We're talking about you have to warn and not warn. Loi shoya lohem la'amoid. You can't prove anything about warning over here. Why? Because they had a chance to get up. So now the Gemara says the same question that we had before, same classic question. We're making a distinction. There's two cases. When a person cannot get up, so he doesn't have to warn anybody. It's too quick. He's hurting, whatever it is. A person could get up and he decides to take a little break, then he should warn. So how come we don't make that distinction? If they warn, it says, right? We just read it in Bryce. If they warned each other, then you potter. I have a much better example. When they could get up, they're chayiv because they didn't get up. If they couldn't get up, so they're potter. No, we have a bigger chiddush. Even though they could have gotten up, that's a huge chiddush. Yeah? today, we wouldn't understand that. If you could turn on your hazard lights, and you do, and you take out, in Israel, every car is mechuyev to have one of those triangles. Take out the triangle, and so you let it stop in the middle of a highway. It says over here, yeah. So that's a huge chiddush. Okay, so just to make a sikkum of what's coming up here, very, very simple. Rava says that there's something called Adam HaMazik. Adam HaMazik means that if the damage comes from the person himself, then it doesn't matter what he's mazik. If he damages another human being, or if he damages the guy's kli, he's chayiv. Adam HaMazik. Adam leilo, Adam HaMazik. But the guy's vessel, the guy's kli, that's different. A vessel that damages is a bar. And a bar is patur for damaging kalim. So therefore, you would only be chayiv on the damage that the bar creates to another human being, but not the damage that it creates to kalim. That's basically all it's saying here. Let's see inside. Yeah? Nachamal? There's two things going on here. A person is holding a vessel and he trips. He himself, his body, is a Adam HaMazik. And if somebody trips on him, he's a Adam HaMazik. He caused damage to somebody else. If somebody's bottle trips over him and breaks, he's chayiv. But if the guy's garbage can falls down, now the garbage can becomes a bar. And a bar is patur when it damages other kalim. Classic example, if I dig a big hole in the middle of Ocean Parkway and a car drives by and falls into the bar, I'm patur. It's unbelievable. Because a bar is patur from kalim. Omar Rava Rishoin Chayiv B'Nitzki Sheni. Now again, don't forget, we're talking about Niskal Poisheya. We're going to switch it in a second. Well, not really. We're going to stick to Niskal Poisheya. If the guy trips, he's negligent. He's chayiv. So says Rava, Rishon chayiv b'niski sheni, bein b'niski gufay, bein b'niski memoinai. He's called Adam HaMazik. Adam HaMazik. So he's chayiv whether he damages a kli or not. But Sheni, second guy who's not negligent, chayiv b'niski shlishi, b'niski gufay. Then he's only chayiv for damage that he causes with his own body. But he doesn't have to pay for damage that he caused with his mamoyne, means the second guy's stuff that damages somebody else. As Gemara Manavshach, if you hold that he's negligent, so he's negligent. So you should pay also for the kalim. And if you hold that tripping is your potter, you're not a peshe, so the first guy shouldn't pay anything. Daf Beis. Rishoin vadai peshehu. Says the Gemara, there's a big difference. The first guy, he's negligent. Sheni, the second guy is not peshe. He stumbled over the first guy. He's not peshe. Sheni aguf mechayiv. Dahaveloi lamoid v'lo yomad. Yes, he's not negligent for. He's not negligent for falling. He's negligent for not standing up. Amamoinoi potter. Why? Why is he potter if his chayfetz causes damage to somebody else? Domalei haibir lavan okarite. I didn't put that garbage can on the floor. It's that guy's fault that I fell and put it on the floor. It's him. All right. That's Rava. Now it happens to be, we're going to go back to this Rava. This is how we stand. This is the maskara. But before we get back to it, the Gemara is going to try something else, and then we're going to come right back. The turning of the daf. So again, if you weren't here on Friday and you weren't here the whole week, you knew. Some people are new faces, so I don't know. I'm just going to repeat. We have a base measure in Eretz Yisrael Ramat Eshkol called Merkez Daf Yomi. And every single day for the last 3 years, there's a person by the name of Robert Early who comes and watches the daf, listens to the daf every day. His son was killed in Gaza 2 weeks ago on Shabbos. So it was a big zetz for MDY, and MDY as a they always come together as a big mishpacha, and they took upon themselves 1,400 daf Gemara. From beginning of Shas there, every single daf was taken by somebody in MDY and maybe other people as well. So 2 people sponsored. It's called the turning of the daf. Cost $1,800 to say the turning of the daf is sponsored. 2 people sponsored. Lili Nishmas, this Kaddish, who, by the way, my good friend Rabbi Yehuda Freilich worked with Robert, knows him very well. And Robert Early, it's very interesting. He was my neighbor in New York. When I lived in Flatbush on Avenue Peony State, he lived in the basement as a bacher for at least a year. So I know him pretty well, and it's a big zetz. His kid went to the same school as my kids, Tara Shalom. So, all right. The turning of the daf, sponsored by Hanan Averbach. Lili Nishmas ben Yomim Meir ben Zev David, my holy nephew, son of Robert Early. And Lili Nishmas ben Yomim Meir ben Zev David, his neshama should have an aliyah. Meisvei. Kulaon chayavim al niskei gufan. So again, Rava says the first guy is chayav on everything. He's adam amazik. He's chayav on everything. His bar is chayav on everything. He's chayav on everything. Kulam chayavim al niskei gufan. The Brisa says something different. Kulam chayavim al niskei gufan. Upturin al niskei mamoinam. These 3 guys are chayav on damage that they cause with their bodies, but they're potter on damage caused by their belongings. My lab, afilu rishon. Now Rava said that the first guy is chayev. Remember, Rava said he's chayev. Adam amazik, he's chayev. It's mammon, he's chayev. Now we're saying that kulon pturim on this game mamonim. Why? It's kash on Rava. Says Gemara lo ilabar rishon. No. Kulon doesn't mean all 3. Kulon means 2 and 3, not 1, not the first guy. But it says kulam. Or hava kulon hani zokin. All those. It means it means all. It means all those who got damaged. Hi mai. Still okay. Nice doichak, but I'm going to prove you wrong. If you say it means all 3, great. It fits right into the word kulon. But if you say kulon only means number 2 and 3, but not 1, my kulon. Listen to hani zokin. According to you, just say hani zokin. Fine. Elo Marov. It's interesting. The Gemara is taking this back because of this question. My kulon. What the Gemara is going to do is come back to this Havamina and stay with it. And this question is not a question. So remember, the question was, why does it say kulon? It should say anizakin according to you. So the way Rav is learning that the first guy is chayiv on mammon, and he's wrong. Elo Marova, nupshat. Similar but different. Very different. Rishon chayiv. Let me just see. Fine. Elo Amarov. Rishon chayiv bein beniskei gufay d'sheni bein beniskei mamoyne d'sheni. Says Rava. The first one is chayiv bein beniskei gufay d'sheni bein beniskei mamoyne d'sheni. So he switches pshat now. It's not pshat that we were learning that the first guy's body caused damage. The first guy's object caused damage. No. Rava says no. The body of the second guy got damaged. We're not talking about damager, damaged. Who got damaged? Big nafkamina. Yeah? We're talking, Rava was learning that the first guy, his body damaged the second guy. And now Rava says, no, we're looking at the second guy. The second guy got damaged. Rishon chayiv bein beniskei gufay d'sheni bein beniskei mamoyne d'sheni. V'sheni chayav beniskei shlishi beniskei gufay avaloi beniskei mamoyne. New thing. First guy is chayav of the damage that he caused. The damage that's caused this second doesn't matter. Even if he damaged his mom. The second guy is not chayev for damage that he caused to the third guy's property. My taima, the havale bar. His own body is a bar. The second guy is a bar. And a bar, you hear what he's saying? Second guy is not an Adam Amazik. Second guy is a bar. And the second guy is potter from Kalim. His body that damaged other Kalim, somebody tripped on him and broke a glass, he's potter. Because Kalim are potter in a bar. You're looking at a human being, yes, he's a human being, but today he's Mr. Bar. So the Gemara has a Givaldik Akash, and therefore we have to leave this. Why? Think about it. According to Rav, the only way you have a bar is if you're mafkir it. So what, the human being was mafkir himself? That makes no sense. So Mele your pshat is off. According to Rav, that says you have to be mafkir, and if you're not mafkir, it's not a bar. So what is it, Rabbi Isai? If it's not a bar, what is it? No, close. Who said shar? Shar. It's a shar. It's a keren, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this doesn't work. Says Gemara, okay, let's go back. That the first guy is chayev for guf and mammon, his body is chayev, his mammon is chayev, and the second guy is only chayev on his body, not a mammon. Oh, it doesn't fit in the word kulam. Why are they all potter? Yeah, why are they all potter? You have a situation where his mammon damaged another mammon. So what is that? That's kalim in a bar. And that you're potter for. That's why everybody holds potter. And according to Rav, Rashi just speaks out quickly that according to Rav, how do you have a kli that's a bar? It must be that he's mafkirit. All right, new sugya, Rabbi Yosef, that didn't go well. Brand new sugya. Omar Mar imachmas rishon naflu rishon chay b'niskei kulam. If the first guy fell and he caused two other people to fall, how does it happen? Machmas rishon hechi naflu. I can understand that video. One guy falls over him, and the next guy trips the third guy. But how? The Gemara, Rapapa Omar, the paskilor chekishilda. He's just sat like a carcass across the sidewalk. So two other people fell across it. Zvido Amar, kichutru de samiyusa. Kichutru de samiyusa is like the stick of a blind man. And a blind man goes like this. He goes from side to side. So sometimes he goes on a complete angle. So it's not that he's going perpendicular to the sidewalk. He's going on an angle to the sidewalk. So he says there's a big nafkamina here. That he will hold that if it's perpendicular to the sidewalk, the third guy should have paid attention. Second guy, Mela, it was too quick for him. Okay, but the third guy, he sees two people already down on the ground and there's something laying across. He should have noticed it. But if it was on an angle, that Taisa says the nafkamin between an angle and perpendicular. Says the Heilige Mishnah. So we have another beautiful animation. Also, this one was more. I'll tell you the reason why I did this. Because a principal in Chicago came to me and he said, "I can't wait until you do Hamaniach. We learn it here in 8th grade. Whatever. I want to use your stuff. So put the pressure on for the children. It's not so much for adults, but you can enjoy it also if you want. You don't have to look if you don't want to." That's the whole thing. All right. Looking for sponsors for the whole Shas, by the way. Zog the Gemara. No, seriously. Think about the potential here. There's a lot of potential. It's 3D, to animate a Kohen Gadol going up and doing the Avoida. And there's a lot of potential here. The chulin, the bodies, the this, the different... the Gidanosha, we learned about where. What's the Gidanosha? Where? 3D. So it'll be unbelievable. If they bump into each other and his vessel breaks on the beam, potter. Why? They both have permission to go there. We had this, right? Chazara. The Baal Koira, the beam, was walking first. The Baal Chavis Achroy. They're walking in traffic. The guy with the beam is first. The guy with the fragile object in his hand is behind him. Nishbra Chavis Bekoira, like this, yeah. And this guy stops, or he doesn't stop. He keeps on going. He's walking normal pace. So the halacha is Nishbra Chavis Bekoira, Potter Bal Koira. The guy with the beam is Potter. V'imam Bal Koira, but if he stopped, Chayov. Sounds familiar? We had it today. But if he screamed out, he put on his blinkers, he did whatever he had to do. He said, stop. Potter. If the owner of the chavis, do we have time here? It's mamish good. Said until 8:30. The guy with the barrel is first. He's walking ahead. And the guy went too fast. He went into him. Chayav. Stuff. The guy stopped. Potter. Now, I don't know if that works in America. You say if the guy stopped, it depends where exactly. But you shouldn't tailgate. Yeah. Usually they always go after the second guy. No? I don't know how that works if you're walking in Manhattan with a beam and the other guy's walking with a bottle. I don't know how it goes. Okay. You should, in traffic law, you should take precautions, you should stay back a little bit. But the Mishnah says not like that. Two people walking and the guy stopped short. He did something mishuna. So he's potter. The guy that hit him and broke it is potter. But he said, hey, I'm about to stop. Stop. Chayav. Same halacha occurs with the candle and pishton. Mamish beautiful for Erev. It's the week of Hanukkah. Rabbi Isai, Yishkoich very much for coming. All those who traveled far. Rabbi Yossi Klein and who else? Murad Kash is here. Oh, if anybody wants to join the shir, you get a free game. Oh, I'll tell you a story before I leave. Murad Nakash. He's a successful businessman. He has more than one business. But he saw a free Gemara. And which Jew doesn't like free stuff? And he took the free Gemara. Since then, he's donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to MDY. So our boy said, please take a free Gemara as you're leaving if you're not part of it. Chaim Peretz Levine brought over 1,100 people. You hear this? 1,100 people to the shir. He's right there in the back. Yishkoich for Peretz Chaim. And a good tavach. Yishkoich for coming. Have a wonderful week, a wonderful day. If you're in Eretz Yisrael, we'll see you. B'karev. Oh, you know what? Rabbi said we could say a Perek Tehillim b'kavana for those in Eretz Yisrael for this situation. We'll say it together, not like Chaz and this. We'll do it quick. Shir ma'alo ismi ma'makim pirosicho Adonai Adonai shemo b'koili tieno zdavak shuvois lekol dachanoi yema b'noi zishmorio Adonai mi'amoi kimcha slicho lemanti borei kibisi Adonai kibson nafshi v'ladvaro yicholti nafshi l'Adonai shomrim laboike yachel Yisrael Adonai kim Adonai yachesed barbei mo ifedus Boy, das Israel, Mikol, Avisov, Achein, Kobes Israel, and Sunu Tzor Shivio. When the baby Yom Bim Bashom Kim Rachim Aleim, Vitzim Tzor Bachim Afel Loim Shivio. Ashto, Bagalov is Makuriv, and Imar, Shkoyach.